which is going to be full, and then it's going to be full screen. Screen, share. You guys can see it, yep. Okay, I've got the PowerPoint up, I've got the syllabus up, okay. All right, guys, let's quickly get started. So I can see around 17 counts, out of which 14 are the real participants. So I think we are, having this follow-up session from yesterday, right? So I can see there are quite a few people who I, kind of recognize from yesterday who joined, and then they have some questions or thoughts that they wanted to ask or check. I'm happy to answer their questions. But before I gotten into all those question answer, I had a chat with Aditya, and what he told me is that there are a few queries regarding that how the technical part or how the the actual software is going to be taught, rather than more of a Q&A that we had yesterday. So maybe what I'll going to do today is I can do two things just to make you guys aware of the situation and what this training course is all about. So you looked this course material yesterday, and I'm sorry guys, can you somebody tell me who is joining this class for the first time, who was not there yesterday?
Yeah, this is Uday.
Okay, Uday, thanks for letting me know. And anyone else other than?
Yeah, this is Divya.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anusha.
Hi, this is Shweta.
So Anil was there, Arnold was there. I don't know about Gandla Divya. I don't know. Gopinath, you were there, I guess.
Yeah, I'm Gandla Divya. I'm joining this for the first time.
Okay. Hey, Divya. Jay.
Yeah, hi.
I'm not sure. Joined yesterday. Prabhakar, you joined. Ram, I'm not sure. Ram Babu, I think you joined. Ravli, you joined. Shiva, I guess so. You joined. Uday, you joined for the first time. Vamsi, Vijay, Yamni. Anyway, choice. Okay, so for those guys who are joining for the first time, so let me take just first 5 minutes before I get into the details. This is going to be a training on the Guidewire. So that's an application or a product from a company called Guidewire. They have got 3 applications, which is Policy Center, Claim Center, and Billing Center. So that's the curriculum that you're seeing in front of your screen. This training course is about functional and technical, where first half of it is going to be all about teaching functional topics, and here is the curriculum, very detailed. The time is allocated, and it has been told the presentations and labs wherever we need what. And then we will move on to the real technical, which is more of a configuration / development piece. So here, we have certain number of topics. Again, I'm just browsing it through so that you guys can take a look at it, and maybe you can have a copy of this as well. Okay, this is of insurance domain, so I'm expecting at least you guys have some basic of knowledge, or at least you understand what is a policy, what is a kind of an application when we submit to the insurance company. And mostly this Guidewire software is about issuing the policy, which is going to happen through the policy center. Then in case of any claim that comes, because if let's say somebody meet an accident or there is a loss, then you will obviously want this insurance company to cover it. So that's going to deal with all those claims and losses in the claim center. And the third piece is the billing center, so which is about the money part, like I told yesterday, where if you sell a policy or if you do any changes to the policy, it might result of charging the premium. So you will have to generate invoices, refund some money, get money, allocate that money to the policies, and so on and so forth. So, and maybe if you have agents in between, then that's where billing center is going to take care of commissions of those brokers and all that, like as you can see in this chapters. Now, once we know all these 3 applications, policy, claims, and billing, we will move on to the customization / configuration part, where we will learn going inside the software, and I can show you what that software look like from inside. So this is a studio. Here in the studio, we will learn about how you will extend what is already there, because these softwares are being sold in the market as out of the box, That means it is off the shelf, pre-packaged, pre-developed. So now if you have to change something, you might extend it, you might create something new, you might define new subtypes, type lists. So I will explain you everything. And a lot of things that happens on the in the software mostly happens in the UI, so which we will learn on this UI. So if I log in here from a super user access, we will learn, we have labs and exercises, how we will make changes onto the actual software, or on the in the studio, and it will reflect on the browser. So let it log in. I think it's taking some time. Yeah. So if you, let's say I want to add one more field here, if I want to add one more, let's just country, city, state, zip code, and you want to add say county or something, so we can add one more field here. So there would be various exercises that you will see in each of these topics that we will cover, say in the data modeler entities or in the UIs that we will learn. Now, if you are also, if you're working on the customization and the technical part of a development part of, software, we will also have to learn Gosu language. So Gosu is the language in which this software is written. So, and this is a derivative of Java. So what I'm being told that you guys not have enough background of Java, or you might not come from that technical background. So I will cover the basics of Java, and then we will get started with the Gosus and how to write business rules and write some queries. But it's just about basics. I mean, I don't expect you to become a real expert or a advanced learner of advanced Java. Your basics should be fine. And then last piece when we cover or disclose this topic is going to be with the integration. So a lot of these softwares cannot work on its own. They have to integrate with upstream and downstream systems. They would be talking or I say exchange information data with systems. So we will cover these web services, plugins, and messaging as the topic 7. Okay, so that's pretty much every topic we will cover, in detail. The time has been told to you. Presentations will be given through the PowerPoint. So I've got PowerPoints very nicely written from Guidewire, and we will go through these in detail. So if I have to show you how we will extend entities, 1 second. Sorry. So we will learn through these slides to understand the basic concepts, and then we will do the practice through the lab, and I'll give you the exercise. We have got a separate labs document that I will share with you. In terms of the knowledge that you guys are looking from a software, so you will get this training app in your in your system that you need to install, because all the practice, all the work that we have to do is going to be, let's say if I'm looking for John Smith and some changes, I'm learning to how to make changes on the screens and everything. So this is what you have to install on your system so that you can make changes. So if I add 2 more lines here, if I add more fields, if I want to add more tables here, if I have to hide something, if I want to modify, add more screens here, add few actions here. So all of those, whatever it takes to change or required, we will be doing it on this software, and that you guys would be doing by yourself. Okay. Any questions? I quickly pause here before I go into a little bit more of detail, or anything that you guys are looking from yesterday.
Adi, we need to install this, no? I mean, you will be providing us the software which we need to install in our system.
Yes, this is the software that you need to install, Guidewire Training, which I will provide you.
Gotcha. It comes in separately. We have to install or something like that.
Sorry, there was a question, Arnold?
Yeah. comes as one app. I mean, database, everything is all integrated
Yeah,
with
yeah,
this.
correct. There are 2-3 files that you need to install, and that should be good.
Okay.
Okay. So in terms of going into the detail and talking about a chapter, so you will see that this is what we are talking about, the introduction to the policy center. And in terms of the course that we are following curriculum, this is the first chapter that we are starting with. And I heard from yesterday that I did not go into the details, so I just want to show you. So this is the four outline that we will cover from a lesson standpoint. And then it is all about talking that who's going to be the people who are going to work on the software. So if you look at, I'm not sure whether you guys have taken an auto insurance policy in your life or not, but there would be people who would be bringing the business to the company, which is the brokers and agents that are called producers. And there are underwriters who are from the insurance company, decides whether they can write policy or not. And then there would be supervisor who will manage everyone's work or not. So policy center is a policy administration system, okay, which is going to manage and maintain all those policies that are being sold in the market. Okay. Now, good thing about this software is that it is all browser based. So just like you access your Gmail, you will be able to access this software on a browser, and you should be able to complete it. Okay. In terms of a value proposition, that why it is so hot in the market and why a lot of insurance companies are buying this software or they are implementing it, is because that one, it is policy centric. That means all the insurance policies outsold in the market, they have something to be, either they need sort of all the things, and I'm going to explain you more in detail as we go forward. I mean, anything to everything which is required for a policy to be written is going to be available in this policy center. So Guidewire has made sure that all those needs are addressed. It allows you to collaborate a lot. I mean, same policy, same insurance policy, and you can imagine that you have taken it, let's say, from Bajaj Allianz, or you have taken the policy from Bharti AXA, whatnot. So same policy can be worked by various people at the same time. So it could be your person or agent on the phone versus the underwriter who's going to decide on it, the supervisor here, and then there are many more. So you can collaborate, at the same time. And the third thing is the ease of configuration is very high with this software. Okay, so why we need that ease of configuration? Because every insurance company says that we have a different style of doing business. So they have to change by the different lines of business. So when I talk about lines of business, it's about, so either you are selling auto insurance, you're selling home insurance, you're selling cargo, you're selling marine, you're selling employers insurance, like that. So different lines of business are requiring different type of process, workflow, data model, and all that. And Guidewire, and you guys will learn, and you will see that how Guidewire allows that to be changed so easily. So this is one view of how we look at the policy centricness, why it is so much around the policy, is because if you read through this, you might see there's a lot of data on this one screen. But if you read through this, very simple. What it says, that there is a customer called Right Construction. They have the account number, whatever. They have got a policy 802006138. It is going to be expired on some date in 2011, but right now it is in force. In force means that it is active. Okay. Now they are based out of San Mateo, California. Business owners is the line of business, so you might have to understand what is business owners, which I will talk about. And then they have got this policy starting from 3rd November to expiring to the 3rd November. So that is a 1-year policy. It is under renewal. That means it has already done one term. Now you are in the second term, and the premium on this policy is $8,886. And the producer on record, that means the agent on record, is Armstrong and Company. So they are going to work for the commissions, and they are going to help us in terms of getting more business. And then there are various screens, like here on the left hand side. These are all details of behind this policy, ending with 1385. So So understand what are we trying to do. This is for a policy center or a policy administration business in which one insurance company is selling the policy to the customers, and all those records of policies and all that are going to be maintained inside this policy center. I hope that's clear. It's collaborative, it's configurable. That's the entire insurance suite I cover. That's a platform, product architecture. Common points of integration.
So what we are seeing on screen, that's owned by Guidewire, the
Yeah,
UI, and it will be customized as per the client's requirement. Is that
that's
right? What?
right. So it is like if you draw parallel, if you let's say you and your friend goes and buy the car from the dealer, both of you get the same car. But then depending upon your preferences, where you want to put a leather seat belt covers or you want to put a nice music system, so that's up to your choice. Same goes with these softwares. When Guidewire goes and sell the product, this is their own, like I said, out of the box product, and then every insurance company or every client is going to customize according to their own needs.
So that's the customization that Guidewire is going to do and provide to the customer.
Yeah. So the only difference there is Guidewire doesn't do the customization. Guidewire allows on the software for the customization, and this customization is being done by these various companies, say Cognizant or EY or PwC. So they are the people, they do supply the people, or they have the entire team who's going to change the software for the clients.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so I gave you a glimpse of what that introduction looked like, and then obviously we have chapters for how to talk about user interface, policy file, new submission, quote. So doing all these transactions of policy issuance and so on and so forth. In Claim Center, we will flip it and say that, okay, what if the policy is already sold and now you got a claim? So we have to ensure that, okay, we maintain a file, we follow the process, we have a full process around how we will intake that claim. So which we call FNOL, first notice of loss. And then whole idea about reserving, adjudication, investigation, and so on and so forth, and until you reach to the payments and closure. And then there are some exception paths that we need to deal with. In Billing Center, again, we will start with the introduction. What is Billing Center all about? What does it do? We have what that UI looks like. What is the billing process we follow? How do we started getting these instructions to do the billing, the customer? How we put the charges on invoice and all, what that invoice lifecycle looks like. How do we make sure the payments that we are getting or we are requesting, are kind of, allocated or posted to the various invoices? How do we distribute the commissions and all that? And then obviously there are exception paths when the customer don't pay. This goes into the delinquency and troubles. Now, if we move to the technical side, so in the technical side, again, so till now the policy, claims, and billing, we are talking about the insurance process and how the software is going to, make you understand, the process behind all these policy, claims, and billing. But now, since you talk about, there's a key piece of customization always required. Okay, so now what does that customization mean? So this is where we go inside it, and then we try to understand, okay, if we have to customize it, what does that mean and how we will do it. So I'll show you one PowerPoint with this. So again, if let's say take one chapter or one example of extending entities. So here we will first see that what is a base application entity. That means what is supplied by the Guidewire already. How we will make some edits to it. If we have, obviously changes to it. So we will need an entity editor. By the way, the entities are nothing which you guys might be or might not be aware of, is a bunch of data fields. Okay, so if I talk about your name, you will not say my name is A. You will say my name is first name, middle name, last name. So your name is about 3 entities. If you ask somebody about the address in the US, the address is about address line 1, address line 2, city, state, zip code, county. So it is around 7 fields of the data that you will capture for one entity called address, and so on and so forth. So we will see that what are the various entities that are being given by the Guidewire. We will be having a need of editing it, or we will get the capability of editing them because the customer might be asking for some change. How we will make an edit, and then if we have to extend it, you're not removing it, but you are rather, here is the example of how you will extend that. Okay, so we will learn about various entities which are there in the application. How do you recognize them through the ETI, EIX, ETX files, and then the customer also ask you to add few more, which we will do. Okay, so here you see an example that in the configuration you might have an entity, let's say, called AB contact. AB is address book, and in address book you have got a contact. In the contact you will say, okay, I want to capture the ID, that is a identifier, what is a name, what is a fax phone, and now the client is looking for adding a web address, and it's an external addition or is an extended part. So what you have already is the ID, name, and fax phone, and now you are adding a web address to it, so that you are in the new customized environment. You will be able to add another field called web address underscore ext. So that's the name you have given. Underscore ext is the kind of a flag that you will add to yourself, so that you know which all extended entities you have extended by yourself, which was not provided by the guy. Okay, so you will see in this metadata entity extension. So if I show you the studio, so here you will see config metadata. There you go, AB company, AB contract. So this is the entity we were talking about. Okay, so this is what the out of the box they have got all the fax phone, name, yeah, work phone, home phone, score, updated, email address 1, email address 2. So these are all the entities that they have already provided as part of their out of the box. Now you will get a assignment from me for every chapter which we will learn in the class, to make sure that you will be able to add more fields to it, or more entities to it. Okay, so here is the entity editor which you just saw. You will get, these are all entity editor at the top, so we will know these are all ETI, so you can't change them. So once we'll see. Okay, so you've got steps how you will make an entity extension. So I'll explain you what are the 4 things that you need to do, where you have to navigate to, what you need to add, how will you regenerate the data dictionary, and then you have to deploy all that. So you will search for that entity, and here PowerPoint is very nicely written, like I was telling you, and it is just that they are explaining you on the slide, but once you get the exercise also, which you call it as labs, you will be pretty much getting everything, I mean, with that respect to the chapter. Okay, so you will add a new entity called with a column. You will put the name, you will define its data type, and pretty much you will make sure that some of the parameters are also set. If we have to define the size, we should be able to define it, and you will see that they have got a very nicely validator in the toolbar. So if there are any errors, it will highlight red. We will optionally, if we have to regenerate the dictionary, we will do that, and then we will deploy. Okay, so this is another thing, that in case you do not have an entity extension, then you can create an entity extension, and I'll tell you where do we need entity extension to be created and where we don't need to. The clear example is that ETI is out of the box. You have to have an ETX in order to extend it. So it will first create an ETX extension of those files, and then you will be able to. So now you can see it has an ETX. Okay, so this is, I mean, is a format or the syntax that we have to follow. And once you learn in 1 or 2 chapters, I think that's what you have to follow for the entire course. Okay, and then it will have some review questions. You can answer them. The answer is in the notepad. So you can see in the reading notes here, the answers are there. Okay, so one other good thing is that all these slides are, I will provide to you as part of the training. And then a lot of these slides have at least, have the notes at the bottom. So if you maybe doing an offline read and all, You can see all of those have been written, with a lot of notes. So it is absolutely good to know and a good piece to have with yourself. Okay, what else? So I just showed you how to extend those base entities. I gave you an example of introduction to Policy Center. So pretty much if you have to follow all this, so all of those will have presentation and lab, and that's what we have to follow until chapter 22. Questions?
Hi, is there any project included in this circular?
Project, I mean, you've got lab exercises. So what you will see is part of, let's say you are looking at chapter number 10 input sets. So when we will start, let's say this particular from chapter 1, you start getting lab, and that lab is going to, when you done that lab, that is only going to use in chapter 2 when you extend, or sometimes you have to create new, or you have to create subtypes. So pretty much same, I would say one project has been splitted into across all these chapters. So I mean, what I'm going to explain you is the one dummy project is, you can assume that going to be used across.
Okay.
Okay, for those
Hello.
people who, go ahead, Uday.
Yeah, this is Uday. Hello.
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Yeah, if we miss any sessions, how will we again get it?
So this is, I think all these sessions should be recorded, and I'll let Adit speak on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Adit, you there?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you answer this question?
So can you repeat, please? I didn't hear. Sorry. The recorded sessions, right? We record everyday session. Okay, and I'll send you a link, my Google Drive link. You can access that. You can download in your local PC, and you can recap that. In case if you really have doubts after seeing that, also we'll arrange some other session when the trainer is free, or you can mail him directly about your questions and all. He will reply for it.
Okay.
Am I clear, Uday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I have a question for the folks who joined yesterday. Anything that you were expecting I did not cover so far?
It's not from the coverage point of view, but the frequency point of view. Instead of having it daily, because we need some time to understand and practice. I mean, just a suggestion. Can't we make it alternate days? I mean, just check everybody. That's my suggestion.
Actually, Arnold, according to this,
These things, if you do it in a hurried manner, the fast.
yeah, since we are doing from Monday to Friday, only 5 days in a week. Okay, like if you do alternate, it goes around like 2 to 3 months. Then it will be a big problem. Like we cannot complete this course at the earliest, and also everyone has to be available for these 3 months also, right? So let's check with others, and then we'll think of it on this. Hello.
Okay. It's the convenience of everybody, and it's only
Yeah.
I just tossed an idea.
Sure. And all. Yeah. Sure.
Or maybe an hour per day also should suffice the need if it's not alternative.
Why? Because I want people to really utilize this course.
Yeah, I
And
understand.
if
Like, see, what we can do is, as we planned yesterday, for like it's 2 hours per day. Instead of that, we can make 1 hour or 1.5 hour per day. Maybe that will helpful. And also, you'll be having like 2 days, right, a weekend, so you can manage those 2 days for practice and all.
See, the whole point is
yeah,
more.
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you drag it for more than a month or two, you will also start getting fatigued. Or you will say, okay, it's been going on from April and it May also passed. So
Mm.
that also
Yeah,
you understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
agree. I'm just trying to take a middle.
Hello.
I think,
Hmm.
are we hearing some
Yes, I
connection
can hear
loss?
you. I can hear you or not. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Go ahead, Uday.
Yeah. Actually, why is Guidewire? Is it only for creation of policies or anything else?
I didn't get you. Why is Guidewire?
Yeah, why is Guidewire used? I mean, is it only for creation of policies or can you briefly explain about Guidewire? What is Guidewire? And
Okay, so Guidewire is a company based out of the US. They are into selling the softwares for the insurance industry. They've got three softwares, which is policy, claims, and billing. Because in insurance, these are the three main domains of the work that happens. Either you sell the policy, you bill that to the customer, or you will service those claims that they file to you. Okay. So most of the insurance company are jumping from their old mainframes, legacy systems, or their in-house to this standard software, which is very, I would say, advanced, and it has its own merits. And most of the work that is happening is nowadays happening either they are implementing the Guidewire software or they are upgrading it. So whatever it may be, I think it is good to be in the Guidewire, and the Guidewire is doing a fantastic job of helping the insurance industry. So that's where you use Guidewire.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, you can search on the guidewire.com also, so that any
Yeah.
other information.
Yeah, sure.
I have one question,
Yeah, go ahead, Anol.
Yeah. The question is, this policy center, claim center, billing center, these are the three sub-components or parts of Guidewire. I mean, what is the actual scenario in the market? Is there any scenario or case where insurance companies have taken only policy center but not the other two, or two but not the third one, or like that, or compulsorily they are to have go with all the three?
Yeah, that's a good question. Of late, I mean, initially they were selling these products standalone, which is lots of companies took claims first, so that was their first product, and then they launched policy, and then they launched billing. But slowly, people or these companies started realizing the value, and they find it so good. So they started doing the suite implementation. So entire. So now for the past 1.5 years, 2 years, you will see a lot of cloud implementations, a lot of full suite implementations. So if you ask me, most of the work happens in policy and claims, less of billing. But with this full suite implementation, it would be good that you should have knowledge on all three.
Okay. Are there any cases like that? Like some companies have used only one part of it, but not remaining, like that?
Yeah. There are quite a few. They're only using one out of three, or two out of three.
So the oldest of these three is Claim Center, huh? Which is
Claims.
the first one? Oh.
Oldest is claims.
Who is I mean, who is the nearest? I mean, a competitor to Guidewire? I mean,
It
who is
is
the closest?
Yeah, I told you yesterday it is distant number one. The second one is the Duck Creek.
Oh, okay.
Or you have, I mean, there are many. There is a Majesco is there, Insurity is there.
Okay.
Even TCS also has one product, but that's not very popular. This is the most popular one.
How old is it, Vikas? I mean,
I think 15, 20 years already. I mean, they started as a startup. Now they're full-blown company.
oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
For a technical person, like hello,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for a technical person,
Is there any?
Vamsi, let you speak. Let Vamsi speak.
yeah, hi,
Yeah.
like for a technical person, how much the domain knowledge is important in this curriculum?
I think it would be important, but not to that extent where you need to be in the really in depth. But as a good practice, you should know what this software is all about. Both from policy, claims, and billing, and then you can apply this all into your technical knowledge. Because a lot of requirements that you've got for the customization and all that, you will need to understand the domain. So mostly all our developers, we asked for them to go through this domain or an overview functional training so that you guys can make sense of it.
Okay.
Uday, you were saying something?
Yeah. Is there any particular ID for to developing this?
Particular IDs?
IDE.
Yeah, it will be
I
a
mean,
ID.
integrate.
You will get that.
Okay.
Abhi, do you provide any virtual network access to this application? Suppose we are unable to install it in our local software. So do you provide any access like from remote or something?
So if you can't access one, you will not be able to do labs. So that is a bare minimum. And I'm sure you must be using Windows or iOS or whatnot, so or Mac. So you should be able to do it. As far as virtual access, it is installed in my system. So if you need to put a remote control or something, I mean remote desktop connection, you can take it. But let me tell you, you will not be able to do anything if you can't install it in a system. You might be knowing all theory, but you will not be able to practice. So it is a minimum.
What is the system requirement for this Guidewire?
I think for training app, it should be simple. I think 4 GB RAM and Windows 8 is fine. So that is, I think that's a very, very normal one. You don't need any specific, any hard or any advanced configuration on your system. So generally, these days, everybody has got 4 GB minimum. But if you go for a full-blown product, then you might need easily 16 GB. But right now, we are not going into the really deep inside it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Sorry, today is my first day, so I have a question. Like, what are the timings that we decided for the course?
So that is
Timings related thing will update you. Okay, you'll get a call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any preference from your side? I mean, I'm just asking. Morning, evening, afternoon.
No, actually, I'm in US, so I don't know how it works for me. So I just want to check with you on that.
Actually, we are planning morning or in the evening. That's all. We need to check with everyone with their convenience, and then we'll fix a timing. But definitely, we also check. We also keep in mind about your timings and all. And then we'll get back to you on this.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for that.
I think evening will be convenient to most of the.
The thing we'll discuss or not. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll discuss the timings and all because we need to check with everyone, right? Yeah, we are also mostly planning in the evening. But yes, maybe I need to check with
Yeah.
other people also if they're convenient with the timings or not. Okay.
And trainer also, most importantly, the trainer.
Yes. He is most important one. Yeah. Yes.
And one more thing is like for UI changes and business knowledge, both Gosu languages used or any other language also included in Guidewire. Hello. Yeah, for UI changes and business logic, for both of them, Gosu language is used, or any other thing, any other language is there?
Only for the business rules and logic you need Gosu. For UI changes, it is through the studio, and doesn't require Gosu.
Doesn't require. Okay.
Okay, maybe last question if there is any, I can take. Otherwise, you can please circle back with Adit and he can, get in touch with you. No? Okay.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, somebody is looking for my experience also. Who wants to know my experience?
You already mentioned.
Yeah.
You already mentioned yesterday, no?
No, Aditya is pinging me saying that you have to talk about experience. I said I already told about yesterday. Okay. If there's any, just
maybe some newcomers.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Bye. Thank you.